myself.
Yeah.
For a little bit. Because these won't make a difference, but it'll be distracting. Cool. Yeah, how goes it?
Not bad. Not bad.
Week 2 of the remoteness. We didn't even discuss it, to be fair. We just kind of assumed, we'll just do it remotely again. I guess for this 3-week period.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn me down. Now I'm too fucking loud.
That's good. I'm incredibly bright this week. I've got my own moon.
Oh, you got the moon?
Yeah. So
I've got the moon behind me. It's sort of a little bit of backlight.
Trying to get a halo effect. It's got like I'm sitting in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you find the remote went last week? Like the finished product? I didn't do that much with it. The sound was annoying to do.
No, I think it looked good. I was more pissed off that I was out of focus for the whole fucking time and I didn't notice.
Do you notice you were a millisecond out of sync in the last bits?
Yeah, I thought I was imagining it, so I didn't really.
No, yeah, because we had some tech issues with the video, so like I had to do it all manually because Final Cut Pro is I've got opinions on it.
Yeah, so opinions that we're not going to go into right now.
It's not worth it.
Because frankly, they trigger me.
Yeah, well, the GoPro doesn't have that much battery, so we can't go on too long about it. But yeah, so I had to do everything like manually, and for some, I'm sure there's a plausible reason, Final Cut Pro wouldn't let me move it back a microsecond, like a millisecond or something. So it was a millisecond either in forward or behind. It kind of was fine, but I imagine for a trained eye, you look at yourself in the mirror all the time. So I'm sure you can tell when you're out of sync with the reality.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't hit me till the end of the day.
Oh, because your weird eye. I forgot. Fucked up eye. So much shit I forget. Just fucking looking over there. Something else is happening. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good week. I think it's been about a week.
Yeah, it's been fine. Like another just normal week. Like work's changed a bit. People aren't allowed into the store now, which is great.
We'll throw the nails at you if you want nails. Okay.
Yeah, well, we've opened the doors and then put a desk in front of the doors, so we just kind of go to the door and serve people that way. But it's like online orders only, and loads of pissed off old people that don't know how to do online orders, and people that want to ask us questions about stuff, and it's like, we can't help you. We're not allowed to help you. We've been told not to help people.
Yeah, just go away. Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't ordered anything, go and order something, and then we can give you what you've ordered. That's it. That's all we can do.
We've become
directions. Tool Argos.
Someone looking for help. No, just email us. Okay?
Yeah.
It's much safer. There's literally, where I live doesn't give a fuck. Nothing's changed. Like, I went a bit further out to, we were going to let's do a big food shop because we're due one. And went to the larger stores, and there was like loads of queues for that. We were like, fuck it, we don't really need that much stuff. Yeah. Checked everywhere within, towards into town. But then on the way back, just popped into the local Tesco, which had a sign that said, only one in, one out. But there was nobody there. Nobody was enforcing anything. There was like big yellow tape on the floor, but nobody gave a fuck.
And they've done that. Yeah, they've done that down the road.
I say that nobody does it, as in, like they've sectioned every 2 meters of the shop. Yeah. And so it's not just like the customers don't know what they're doing. Like the staff are still congregating and whatever and moving into boxes with you. And I'm just a clear cut person. I'll obey the rules if we're going to obey the rules. But just you got to make a decision as to whether we're going to do it or not. And then we went into the local corner shop, and it was like life as normal. Nothing's out of stock. No one's weird. It's just like it's just carrying on really.
There's certain things that are somewhat unavoidable. Like I had situations in our local shop where there's someone like stacking shelves, but in order to get past them, I have to disobey the one-way system and go down a different aisle and shit like that. And no one seems to act outraged. Yeah, they put like arrows around. It's like there's only one way you can walk around the shop now. And then they've taped off all these.
Look at the tape. Just look at this tape. I didn't realize it was a direction.
And then they've put off all these boxes where you stand in a box to be in the queue. But I did like a big food shop this week, and it was all fine again, exactly as I fucking said it would be. Even though everybody went fucking mental and like, oh, we're not gonna get any food. I even got toilet roll, the sacred toilet roll.
I was thinking more and more about that. I reckon it's the toilet roll is it's such a bulk item. It's just so large that they don't hold as much of it. And yeah, if everyone bought it at the same time, it would just sell out. I reckon it's plausible that it might not just be people buying hundreds of rolls. It's like, well, if everyone bought 4 rolls, then it could easily just go out of stock. You just can't store that much.
Well, we buy those like packs of 9.
Oh, you're one of them hoarders, aren't you?
What, for buying 1 pack of toilet roll?
9 is enough for 3 years or something.
It's big, which means it's better, which was your explanation.
It's a holy relic. A holy relic of wipe. I'm smearing.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems funny. But yeah, it seems like people are taking it, I don't know, it's becoming more and more the norm, which is becoming more and more surreal. But there's still people like out in defiance about the whole thing, which I don't know. Obviously, we've got a coronavirus privilege, right? We don't particularly want to go outside.
No.
There's nothing like, oh, I'm getting itchy because I'm indoors. I'm not one of those people. I get it a little bit, but not to the extremes.
I think this week it was a bit different because suddenly the weather got nice. So, like, I think my wife went to Aldi and she said everyone was stocking up on barbecue stuff now. Like, okay,
fire!
Like, yeah,
fire is what's gonna be next.
Yeah, let's all be outside together, I guess.
Well,
separated by a fence, so that'll stop viruses.
Yeah, it respects the fence.
Yeah. Oh, did you go outside at 8 o'clock on whatever the fuck day it was to clap for the NHS?
I didn't because I forgot, but I heard it announced on the radio like an hour before, and I thought it was really funny. Just because one, I knew I'd forget, but 2, I think it'd be great just to be doing something, minding your own business, and then suddenly there's like this thunderclap that's coming from everywhere.
No, but that's
like, has it evolved?
That's what I had. Like, I don't use Facebook or anything. So, like, I think I'd heard about it once, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And then Vix had mentioned it to me earlier in the day. And again, like, oh, it's something that happened on Facebook. I don't care. Because I'm so used to getting those fucking joint messages that people send around to everybody. Like, oh, do this. And no one does it. That I was just like, nah, no one's going to do that shit. And then I was practicing guitar upstairs in the office, and like I just started a song, and then suddenly everybody started clapping. Mm-hmm. Like I could hear like outside the whole street, everybody'd started, and it was like, you know, when you go to like if you go to like one of those old, like not old people concerts, but like a veteran concert, like if you were to go and see someone like Leonard Cohen before he died, or Bob Dylan or something like that, like they start playing one of the old classics and everybody's like, oh yeah, this song. It felt like that. Like I'd started playing this song and suddenly it was like, oh, I know this one. Like everybody starts breaking. Oh, I love this song.
Validation.
Yeah. And then you realise what's going on. But then I kind of felt a bit bad, but then I looked outside and I realised like it's only half the street doing it and half of them are like me, just looking out the window wondering what the hell's going on.
There's people in the street again.
Yeah, but and then like for like 10 minutes after that, like through my window, like I could hear everybody outside just chatting, and I was just like, is this not the exact point of fucking not doing this shit? Like if you're just gonna now hang out and have a chat, I understand you've been cooped up all day, but pick up a phone or something. Like,
well, it has caused a bit of weird controversy because like there's a lot of people who've been like, okay, yeah, great, thanks for the clap. But why don't we do X, Y, Z to help fund the NHS or something like that? And then there's people who've thought it's incredible. And it's just kind of like, I reckon that there's a lot of people who are kind of at the end of their rope after incredibly long shifts. Like there was one story about a paramedic in the neighborhood leaving a house to go do a night shift, and everyone in the cul-de-sac or whatever came out and like cheered her on and said thank you. I imagine that does make a world of difference. And that does like be like, okay, cool. No, they feel appreciated. They feel like they're going to do that, so it could be quite nice. So I don't see it as like a negative thing, but I think it's a weird thing to get angry about because it's not enough to fix everything.
That's the thing. It's like I'm kind of torn because I understand that for the majority of people, what they're trying to do is a nice thing. Like, completely get it. For most people, they're not virtue signaling. They're not like, look at me, isn't this great? But then the other side of it is like, well, if you on your last food shop, you could have spent 25p on a can of beans and given it to a food shelter. Like, that would have been literally helpful.
Sure.
Like,
but then like, helping people through work is still good. It just seems, I don't know. I think at the moment there's nothing that can be done that is the right thing because everybody's still saying, well, we should have done X, Y, Z in the past up to like 5 years ago, up to 2 years ago, 6 months, a week. There's loads of things that people go, well, if we did this, then this wouldn't have even happened. And I think I'm just more of the camp of like, you can't control everything. Like, yes, everyone in the world, apart from apparently Syria, which has been fucked quite a bit in the recent past, I think. Like everyone apart from them is getting fucked at the moment. And sometimes you get fucked and you just have to kind of wait it out until it's kind of dealt with. There's no like, if Timmy didn't cross no butterfly effect of like, if I stabbed this rabbit, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, the chain of events would have meant that this would never have happened. It seems to be the main thing. I think people, again, just looking to kind of moan, I guess. Like, say, it seems like a good thing to clap. Maybe it's not the most effective thing. I think it's better than giving people flowers and chocolates. Yeah. Because that felt like there was one of like people going to supermarkets and the customer service people like trying to give someone flowers and the guy was like, no, thank you. And she forced them on it. It's like, well, he could be allergic. He could not want flowers. He might actually want to do his food shop so he can get back to his shift and doesn't want to talk to you right now. Yeah. So a clap over that, I think, is a good substitute.
I think it was definitely like an interesting from a social experiment kind of perspective. And I'm in no place to criticize because I did nothing, like good or bad. I did nothing. So like, again, I don't want to be a downer on the whole thing, but it was a bit weird. I don't think even if I knew exactly when it was happening or whatever, and I was fully on the ball, I still don't think I would have done it.
It does add more to this is all a big Black Mirror episode, right? Yeah. Just like the water's getting cleaner because everybody's watching more Netflix. Yeah. And outside, everyone's come outside for the yearly clap. And the clap is to fund the NHS. Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. This works, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I've just fallen.
Did you see? You've fallen. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. You see, they've had to ration YouTube and Netflix and Amazon Prime because of the massive influx of people staying indoors and watching online content. There were worries that the internet would explode.
The internet.
Yeah, because everyone's suddenly watching YouTube and Netflix, right? Everyone's suddenly watching, I don't know, Fleabag or Fargo or something, whatever they're watching. Yeah. Catching up on PewDiePie videos. They're like, suddenly there's been a massive burst. So all of the internet like platform providers like YouTube and Netflix and Amazon all lowered the quality of all of their streaming services.
Oh, I heard Netflix were doing that. I didn't know about anyone else.
Yeah, everyone else kind of followed suit, which I haven't noticed a difference. Like, it's gone from 4K to like 1080 or something. So it's like, it's 25% of the quality. Oh, no, they've reduced it by 25%. So from whatever quality they had, 25% less. And you go, that's fine for the human eye. I'm sure there's a bunch of, I don't know, killer whales that are upset.
Like, to be fair, from the generation that used to fucking stream films and whatever off Putlocker, like... Yeah. You don't really give a fuck about quality anymore. Like, really, it's more distracting if the sound quality's bad.
Yeah, definitely. How did you find the sound quality come out from last week's episode, just out of curiosity?
Fine. Like, there was a difference between you and me just because there's a difference in the way that we're treating the audio, but I thought the quality itself was fine.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to make it better, but we can go over that a little bit later. Yeah. But yeah, fun. I can't remember whether we've said the word that cannot be named. We're going to have to call it something else. I don't care about saying it, but it just feels like an opportunity for creativity. Yeah. What could we call I've been calling it the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, there was everyone seems to have a different thing for it. So like I follow a lot of people are just like saying like, oh, because of the situation or something like that. It's like, okay, I thought the situation was from the Jersey Shore, but
Okay.
What the fuck do I know?
See the guy who roasted somebody on something.
Oh, I don't know. I follow a bunch of wrestling channels, and there was a wrestler at some point called Steve Corino. So they say because of Steve Corino. which is a great mark on that guy's career.
Yeah. I like the binge because I guess everyone's just going to binge box sets.
Because of rather than the plague, the binge. Yeah. That works.
But yeah, lots more people dying, which is
expected.
Which is always fun. Death doesn't stop, Nick. Like,
but it's like it was, of course. Like, yeah.
Time passes,
and still everyone reporting on it as though it's completely unexpected, and as though we should all be terrified.
Yeah, they should respond with limericks instead, right? Or something. I don't know, something more creative response than being upset.
Yeah.
How much do you think it is the responsibility of the listener rather than the responsibility of the broadcaster in terms of reactions? Okay,
so it's difficult because I'm like quite a critical person, as you are. We don't have a tendency to believe something as soon as we've read it or heard it or whatever. But when you're made out, or when you make yourself out to be someone or something that puts across like accurate, good, solid information, and people rely on you for that, then I believe you are responsible for people's reactions to the way that you word things.
So would that be like the news outlets?
Yeah.
Like the newspapers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I reckon there's probably,
because at the end of the day, people who write headlines and newspapers and journalists and all of that, a lot of their job these days is being experts in wording things in ways that will get the biggest reaction.
Yeah.
So they're definitely responsible for a lot of the outrage and whatever.
Oh, yeah. I would take that same logic and say that the same thing as politicians lie, right? If I accept that, and I accept that newspapers will always try and dramatize things to increase sales, whether or not it's true, even if they say something crazy, then they may. There was a thing, I think in Staffordshire, about a 21-year-old girl who died from, they said, coronavirus. Had no underlying conditions or anything, and then a week later or a couple of days later, they recanted it because the coroner said it was coronavirus, but the medical professionals didn't. They said it was a heart attack or something like that. So that case was redacted. Yeah. So even if they're trying to tell the truth, they're still going to lie inadvertently in some cases.
Yeah, so getting it wrong isn't lying necessarily, I suppose.
Yes, it is. You ever played Scrabble? Oh, I didn't know it wasn't in the Bible. In the Bible? Bible, Scrabble. Oh no! I've spelt the word. Now I need to kill the firstborn. Oh, one sec. Yeah, definitely can still make mistakes, but it feels like it's an entertainment thing. Because then you go, well, all newspapers will have less serious pages of their newspaper, right? You'll have like the personals. That personal, has that been fact checked? Yeah. But I'm more ridiculous where I kind of think like, it's all your responsibility. If you overreact to something that you know is trying to provoke you, then you got to go, it's kind of not. But that only applies to non-vulnerable people, I guess. There's lots of people who can watch it who aren't prepared, who get kind of upset by it. I mean, I saw a YouTube video the other day. I had to stop watching because I just wasn't in the mood to watch it. And it was just about German Shepherds. And it was like, we're going to tell you about this German Shepherd. And they said, and we're even going to go over this German Shepherd who had its chest ripped open. You saw a picture. I was like, I've got an emotional reaction to that. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
I imagine there's people who are like that but don't react with repulsion. They react with, oh my God, and panic. I've got to watch to the end to see if it lives, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it is a two-sided thing, I think.
I think when you know that most of your audience, or at least a very good chunk of your audience, are not like critical thinkers in that respect, then you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm fully on board with personal responsibility, 100%. That's how I try to live.
Yeah.
So, and it's what I encourage everyone to do. But I wouldn't. You wouldn't need to encourage everyone to do it if they already were.
Yeah.
Which means that the vast majority of people, the vast majority of these companies already know that people don't do that. So they I don't know. They're definitely. It's like if you provoke someone, whether they are provoked or not, doesn't mean that you're not responsible for trying to provoke them.
Yeah, but if that person is famous for trying to provoke people, then you kind of there's a belief that, well, if you come into contact with them, then you've got to understand that they said it when they started. I'm going to try and provoke you, and then you've got to be like, okay, you've got to be somewhat prepared for that. But then everyone can cross the line, I guess.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm again at the extreme spectrum. When I was at uni, I did some philosophy and had a lot of activists in it for whatever reason. And I came across the idea that, you know what? Nothing else might not exist. Or no, nothing else might exist. No. I didn't do
you went
well
all
at philosophy.
solipsistic, so like you're the only thing that exists.
Well, it was kind of like the Iraq War just started, and I was like, well, I don't know if there is an Iraq War going on right now, because the only person who's told me is the newspapers, who are famous for manipulating information. So I'm happy to go along with the Iraq War's going on, but if you're going to ask me if it's a fact that the Iraq War's going on, then I'm going to say I don't know, because I haven't been there. Which is a stupid kind of immature, like when I say immature, I mean like young and developing way of thinking, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can always go, well, even if the news tells you and they tell you it's true, you go, I don't know. I guess the government would be my line. If the government was to release a statement that was false in order to provoke a reaction, you'd be like, well, the government's not looking to make money, shouldn't be anyway. So that's the line, I guess. Newspapers feel more like a magazine, and the beat me a lot. So.
I think one of the problems at the minute is that it's difficult when everybody is locked indoors, including journalists and everything, to get your hands on like primary information. If all you can do is talk to people and listen to what they're saying, as opposed to going and seeing what's going on yourself. Like, so like there's loads of like weird shit proliferating at the minute that no one's got any way of confirming or not, and it's making rumors like fly even further. So like there was stuff about vineyards being taken over by elephants. Like and them wrecking all the crops and dolphins returning to like the Panama Canal and shit like that. Like it's and stuff that no one's got any way of confirming or denying or anything like that. There's one that I got from my headlines bit later on, but I may as well just waste it now. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
About someone started a rumor that they closed Wembley Stadium to bake a giant lasagna in it.
Okay. Well, that's obviously believable, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like you'd think, but like it went so far that the FA had to say we haven't made a lasagna.
Yeah, that is a new epidemic. I've got a few of those as well, where it's like, hang on, that was I just, okay, it was a joke, or okay, there is no massive arena-sized lasagna. Built. Okay.
and that was just some bloke on WhatsApp that started a rumor and sent it to his mates.
I heard there's an arena-sized lasagna coming our way.
Yeah, they're using the underfloor heating to cook it, and they're making giant garlic breads in the underground.
Yeah, but then people are upset when there is check-in. Like, the police have started using drones to more effectively search for people that are maybe breaking the coronavirus stipulations. So like you're able to go out of the house twice a day, I think.
Yeah.
Once for exercise and once for food shop, but food shop is like irregular, like don't go every day. So there's people who have driven 200 miles to a nice place in order to go for their 1 day walk.
Right.
And it's like, no, the idea is you don't drive far away.
You don't leave the county. Yeah. Go out of your house. Walk from your house. Tunnel, Yeah.
So like, there's people using the police using drones to find like hikers and stuff like that. And it's like, no. The more you spread, the more it will spread. So just stay indoors.
Yeah. Just stay where you are.
But it's like, no, they've got no problem with police using drones. Like, why is that? People are like, they're just trying to catch the corona victims.
But
like,
It makes more sense. I've got no problem with police using drones. I read a story this week about some bloke in Cyprus and who's quarantined using a drone to walk his dog. Like that felt a bit like Black Mirror stuff to me.
I'll get the robots to exercise the dogs for now.
Yeah, just this little Pomeranian thing. You couldn't do it with a massive dog because you got no control, but just a little one.
Bigger drone, I guess. Yeah.
What did I say
last week? Give the drones boiling oil and kitchen knives and AI and see what happens. I'm sure everything will be fine. But I haven't really seen any difference, to be fair. Apart that, I think the police thing, just to finish that off, I think that's just getting confused with the American view of police systems. People hate the police for whatever reason, and apparently this is because I am privileged in some way that I'm not afraid of the police. That's because I could just be because I'm quite big, but
it's because you don't go and fucking do anything.
Yeah, but it's just they're there to help. And but again, that's the idea that it's meant to be privileged. Is I see the police as something to help, whereas other people see it as something to fear. Yeah, it's like it's not if you've done something wrong, then you should fear them. It's just, and I have been mistaken for an abductor. Which I've told on the podcast before. I turned up to a domestic dispute to resolve the situation, as in move one of the parties out of the house. Yeah. And they thought that I was coming to be violent, so the police were waiting at the door, and I was like, how's it going? Do you want to smoke? I'm perfectly cool. Like, let's just load everything in the car and leave. Yeah. So I've been mistaken for that, but it's still been perfectly fine. But yeah, in America, it's more like about, they're trying to catch people breaking the law in order to meet budgetary requirements or make money. And I don't think that's really the case over here, although I'm sure there's something going on about it. But why would you be afraid of the police using drones rather than patrolling the streets? Would you rather encounter a drone? I guess if it's got weapons on it, maybe, but that's not the deal over here. So.
What's the thing? Like, there's no way to, like, I don't quite understand how it works. So if they send have they just got like a speaker on it that says "Go home" or?
Well, I think that it's
radio because it's not like you can get fined by a drone.
It's got
no authority to check your ID.
Yeah, I'm sure it acts as a reconnaissance thing. So you'd be in a car, they'd be like, "We found somebody on this road. Send a car out to go." Basically,
it makes sense. I mean, if they're gonna have a go at people for like roaming around, then it would make sense that they're not roaming around themselves.
But then, and it's all about saving people's lives at the most dramatic end of things. So it's not even like they're doing it just to kind of reduce people from meeting up. It's like, no, we're trying to stop a virus from spreading. It's kind of, everyone can get on board with it. But there's loads of people still like coughing in the faces of people and saying, "Oh, I've got corona," and then spitting on things. And it's like, why are you doing this? Doesn't sound like fun.
There was a woman in the States that ruined $35,000 worth of stock because she licked and coughed on a load of their goods, and they just had to throw it all out.
Yeah, and it's just like I can maybe relate in a little way to somebody thinking something's funny when they're just not in the right mindset and it's really gone wrong. But it's like, that's not that funny. Everyone who's done something stupid, like I think the owner of Sports Direct was upset that stores were closing, so he was campaigning to keep them open. And he has since apologized. He'd been like, "I was wrong in doing that. I now recognize the scale of things." I think a lot of the Florida State spring break partiers who were all like on the news and that saying, "We're going to party anyway because it's going to be fine." I think a lot of them have recanted and said, "We were sorry for how we acted," and stuff like that. So it's a humanitarian thing of like, look, we're just saying, just chill out for a while. That's all we're saying. But people are still amassing. Although
there were people having plague parties. Which is so stupid. Like, well, it wasn't plague parties. It was that word parties, but like.
Right.
Yeah. Like and surprise, one of them got it. It's like it's so fucking stupid.
But
people.
Again, it's the belief that it won't affect me, it'll affect somebody else, and you go like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people thought the Black Death only killed, I don't know, people shorter than a certain height or something stupid. We're still investigating what it is. forget about short term. We don't know if there's any long term like problems that are going to come with it. It's all just like, dude, just don't get sick. That's the idea. So everyone can get on board. So I can understand the heat of passion or whatever, not the heat of passion, but just like stupidity or ignorance going in at the beginning and making those mistakes. But like, yeah, just chill out now. I mean, it's easy enough to just chill out for a little bit. Loads of people would pray for this. I mean, we said last week, they were helping out salaried employees up to a maximum amount, and they've started doing that with self-employed people now. And it's just, I mean, I think there's still some issues with it, but hey, it's still a big, we'll pay for you to sort things out. If you have to work now, then any holidays you have, you can still claim them for 2 years. You know, there's loads of incentives just to be like, look, let's just bear down and get this sorted.
Yeah, there's stuff in it to keep everybody happy. Like, for the right wingers, they've closed all the borders, which is nice. And then for the left wingers, they've given everybody like universal basic income, which is nice as well. Like they've just everybody. There's no reason for anybody to really be outraged at how they're dealing with everything. Yeah, there's something for everybody.
It's just rebelling for the sake of rebelling. I read a thing about the world's oldest man who turns 112 soon isn't going to have a birthday party because of coronavirus, and you go like, good. Well, let's keep him alive.
He's had 111 of them. Like, is he going to be pissed off about missing one?
But it's just...
He's probably missed one at some point in his life, and he wasn't bothered about that.
Well, it's just like, I get it. Like, it's a good thing to celebrate. You might not have another one, right? It's a big thing to celebrate every year. But if you have one, you're definitely going to die. So... just don't.
How much party have you got in you at 112?
Yeah, he said he can't put his clothes on. So,
right.
So you want someone to dress you for your birthday and it's going to be your death suit, is it? No, just chill out. Have a birthday later.
Stay at home, open a can of beans and just sit by yourself for a while. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like to us 6 months, which I'm just pulling that number out of my head. I think the official thing is like another 2 weeks. But I think it's going to extend. I reckon it will extend for a considerable amount longer.
I haven't reached that age where like I'm thankful for every day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like that thing where I'm appreciating every day. It's like I'm sure I am in some way, but really most days it's just like this is just another day.
This is mine.
Yeah, I'll have plenty more of them. Yeah,
but like I reckon, like say 6 months seems like quite a strong. I think it'd be like, 6 months feels like about how much it would be, maybe longer, but 6 months is probably a lot to a 112-year-old to wait for a birthday party.
Yeah.
It seems fair, but it's like, just what's the point here? Do you want him to be fought? Do you want extra people to have a party with him so he gets infected? Or what? Just send him an email. I don't know. People can read him emails. There you go.
Yeah.
Problem.
Well, like my Vix is 30 this year, and we can't fucking do anything for her. It's a pain in the arse.
Just have it later.
Yeah,
same
that's
people
the thing.
Who like are getting married and being buried. It's like, let's do it. Push it back 6 months.
And she's not like a make a big fuss about me kind of person anyway. I wouldn't have fucking married someone like that. But but it's still like, it kind of sucks. Like your 30th feels like a big thing.
Yeah, definitely something to celebrate. But if times can't, then
you got to do what you got to do.
Have you been following the Pope?
Physically?
Yeah.
No.
No one has.
That wasn't
been in isolation. He's been in isolation, but he's still giving speeches to empty streets. It's just something to, because it's like Easter time or something. He's given he's got like big broadcast podium, and he's giving a speech to an empty road. And it's
old man seen talking to himself. But
there's still people being employed to follow him around with cameras. And just wait for him to fall down a flight of stairs and nobody reacts.
They're just waiting for great you've been framed footage.
Yeah,
I'll make some money off this one. Pope falls downstairs, not clickbait.
It's real, and it's too real because no one wants to help him in case they die or kill the Pope. And you don't want to kill the Pope. Killing the Pope is worse luck than smashing a mirror. I think that's where it ranks.
Yeah.
If you intentionally smash a mirror, I think you break the curse. But if you intentionally infect the Pope, you don't have bad luck. You just have to go to prison.
Yeah.
Bad luck or prison, I guess.
Yeah.
Before that was recently. That was this week. Earlier in the week, or earlier in the month, he was caged in a library. Is how he phrased it. I'm a pope, and I'm caged in a library. So.
I'm the Pope. Welcome to Jackass.
It's just like, no, Pope, mate. I mean, it must be a hard job to manage the Pope. Because what? He's the voice of God or something, isn't he?
He's in a cage half the time anyway. He sits in a fish tank on the back of a truck.
Yeah. I'm in a cage on the road. I'm in a cage in a library. Cage. Turns out he's the secret skin for Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. But yeah, so he's talking to the streets. Have you heard what Switzerland's doing?
No.
It's listening to the mountains. Advice.
Self-help.
Yeah, there's the mountains have started having words projected onto them, and all of Switzerland is obeying them. I think the words are like "stay at home." It's a weird thing to be told to fuck off by a mountain.
Just use the fucking radio.
No, like, we use the mountains.
Has anyone spoke to the mountains recently?
Yeah. The other one it said was Hope. No, it's Hope Mountain, is it? Oh, okay.
It's like a Disney ride.
Yeah, it's the Matterhorn, which I think is their largest, it's most famous mountain, apparently. And I think it was a ski resort, and no one's supposed to be skiing on it. If you are skiing on it, you're skiing over stay at home. So just listen to the mountains if you're in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Iceland has gone through a different, apparently this is the only thing that they're doing to battle coronavirus. And I guess Iceland is a little bit more low population, I'm assuming, than a lot of the other mainland Europe countries.
Yeah,
I don't know that for sure, but I'm assuming.
Well, they make all their money off tourism, so they're fucked at the minute.
Yeah, well, they're battling it using private detectives, which I think is novel. I think that's quite cool. If it's got high tourism, it's probably got a lot of abductions as well, so there probably is a lot of private detectives in the area anyway.
In what context? To stop people, to make sure people aren't leaving their houses, or
to try and find the virus, infected person.
Oh right,
find them all, and I don't know, throw them in the volcano or something.
So has Iceland got a massive population of private detectives?
That's what I mean. If it's like it is, I think it's the most expensive place to go on holiday, right?
Yeah,
Iceland. So that means that the wealthiest people are probably going to go there, I guess. Only the people who can afford it can go there, and those people can probably afford to pay a ransom for their children or something, right? So I imagine the crime syndicates of Reykjavik probably abduct a lot of children, and private detectives help get them back.
And it's vast spaces of like sparsely populated landscape, so it's the kind of place you'd expect to find a body hidden or something, like the moors.
Yeah, but it seems like, why not use doctors? No, we're going to use private detectives. They got a bit more detail. One of them is called Gester Palmason. They spent the past few weeks running down leads and profiling suspects. Are you disease? Are you binge? The 40-year-old who has a shaved head is part of a team of contact tracers. Why does it matter? Why? Don't worry. He's got a shaved head. He's going to get down to this. What was that? There was some weird 80s or 70s crime show which had a guy with a bald head.
Kojak.
Maybe
he had a lolly.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, don't worry. He looks a bit like Kojak. I'm sure we'll be fine. He operates at the Iceland National Crisis Coordination Center, the NCCC. Isn't the NCC like crime children? No, it's the NSPCC.
NSPCC.
It's too many NCCs.
Yeah.
But every
it's the NEC.
The NEC.
That's in Birmingham.
Oh. One of them is becoming a hospital. It's leveled up. I think it's the XL Centre in London has been converted into a hospital.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Not many people want to learn. Not many people want to go to a TED Talk. More people want to live.
Yeah.
But yeah, every second, somebody's getting infected. So obviously, we want as few people infected as we possibly can. As quickly as we can. We have to reach everyone that might have been in contact with someone who's positive and try to stop them. So
we have to reach everyone that's spoken to anyone in the last ever.
Yeah. So it's just like some kind of weird thriller film where they're just hunting down, I don't know, some secret agent, which is just some guy who got coughed on once. Seems a bit intense. Yeah, elsewhere around the world, I thought we'd revisit Saddington.
Oh.
I was trying to find stuff that wasn't about the binge stuff, right? I wanted to figure out because everything's just about it. And it's like, it's kind of boring. So what's happening in Saddington? Well, a man arrested after the death of another man at a nightclub has been released under investigation. He was held on suspicion of possession of a Class A drug and being concerned. Someone's concerned in Saddington. Lock him up.
What about the drugs? Yeah, the drugs too, but
he was
more
kind
about
of concerned.
the concern.
We don't need concern in these trying times.
No.
Leicestershire police said that the other person died at the scene and his death was being treated as unexplained. Well, we're treating it as a mystery. Is it a mystery? We're treating it as there's a lot of concern. And we're just trying to keep it a mystery.
Yeah,
all right.
We're treating it as though it's unexplained. Can you explain it? No, see, that's why we're treating it as unexplained.
Are you concerned? Get the cop.
Lock him up.
Get the drones in. Elsewhere in Saddington, a motorcyclist was hit with a tree, but he's fine. Just some good news. A tree fell on him.
Oh, right, okay.
He's kind of fine.
I thought it was like one bloke hit another bloke with a tree. No.
How could a tree?
Not he's driven into a tree.
No, just a tree fell from the sky.
Right.
Those sky trees.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've got in Saddington. There was so hard to find news articles. Oh, Eastbourne. You know Eastbourne, right? They were going to do a sex strike for climate change, but that's been postponed because of all this shit.
For climate change?
Right, and it's very specific. It's a campaign for nobody to have sex with the 50 Eastbourne county councillors until they agree to stop funding climate change.
Right, okay. Well, they tried to do something similar.
With these people.
I think what's her fucking name? Some mental actress tried to start the same thing in the States. Tried to get all women to abstain until the government put funds into Planned Parenthood or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, but this seems really specific of like there's 50 photos of men, don't have sex with them, and that'll help climate change. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Seems fair enough. Apparently it's accompanied by a performance of an extract from the ancient Greek play Lysistrata, in which women use a sex strike to end a war between Athens and Sparta.
Right.
Would a war have ended from sex or less sex?
No.
I don't think so.
That's why it's a play and not an actual historical event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure maybe it could have had an effect. It's not a pointless thing, but it's a weird way to contribute to the war. Well, I'm not going to have sex with their general. Cheers. Dude, you're going to fight on the beaches. I'm just not going to have sex with Hitler. Oh,
yeah.
Thank God.
Well, the thing is, like, back then as well, like, times were a lot more brutal, and the typical masculine way was not adverse to raping people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not looking for consent, love.
I'm sure that's, I don't know, it's a weird way to fix climate change. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Friction, heat.
Fires.
Yeah.
And the other place, I thought, where can I find stuff? Where would you think in the world is still the same now as it was before all this happened? Where would you think?
It's got to be Stoke, right?
Oh, I don't know. I think like there wasn't that much happening in Stoke, and now there's kind of more happening, I'd say. So
the Orkney Islands.
The Falkland Islands, they're still getting invaded by
Orkney. Orkney. The Orkney Islands.
I had to look everywhere.
Far reaches of Scotland.
Yeah, I had a look in Glasgow. There wasn't much in Glasgow apart from there was some guy walking down the street yelling that he's got the virus, and police were telling him to go home, and he just didn't want to. That was the only thing I really saw.
So he's his own siren. That's good.
Help! So I looked there wasn't that much. Isle of Man, there wasn't much going on. Surrey, there wasn't much going on. But London, everything's still kind of the same. A 22-year-old has been charged over the fatal stabbing of a teenager. Another man has been shot in the street. 3 men have been jailed for killing a bouncer. by accident.
A bouncer? Why was there a bouncer?
Well, they were trying to get into a champagne party. I'm assuming this was a little bit prior to everything kind of happened. But the judge apparently accepted that the killing was a spur of the moment kind of thing. So they didn't get like a full sentence. So there's still criminals aren't. ISIS may be taking a break, but everyday criminals are still kind of doing the same thing. It's nice to know that your traditions remain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was in Greater London, apparently. And lastly from me, Britney Spears has clarified that she's not faster than Usain Bolt.
Good, because there were concerns. We were concerned.
Well, this is the lasagna thing, isn't it? It's just like, well, of course there's not an arena-sized lasagna. I mean, it's not, but someone's got to say it. And apparently, she said in a previous post that she can run 100 meters in 6 seconds. And she's even done it in 5. And then other people pointed out that the world record is like 9.5 seconds. And that's like you can run twice as fast as the fastest man in the world. Yeah. Actually, no. Okay, this is news.
Like, I'm not for belittling people or their their successes and their achievements. Yeah. But you are just Britney Spears.
Yeah. You shaved your head once. That's what you're famous for. Yeah. And now you haven't shaved your head, and now you think you can run faster than a Bolt. Okay. Faster than Virgin Media or whatever.
Yeah.
Weird. So not that much going on this week, but managed to find a few little things. So that's me.
Yeah. Oh, that's I was going to mention at the time that that woman that got that licked all the supermarket produce and coughed over everything as well. It's like, well, that makes sense to throw all that out. There was a company called Orange Line Transport or something like that. And they run a train company, and someone with coronavirus licked one of their trains, and they put the train into quarantine. They took it off the lines. Like,
it's not a locomotive; it's a very naughty boy. Lock it away.
I was like, that's a bit of an overreaction. Just fucking bleach it. It's a train.
Just clean it. No. It's a set
throw it away. Putting a train in the bin.
I guess there's too many trains at the moment, or maybe there's not enough. I don't know. Everything's reduced hours. I imagine there's reduced rail as well. But then you need more trains for people. People are pissed off at the Londoners for going on the tube. And like I said last week, there's nothing you can do. You can't limit each train to 20 people. They're not doing it because, fuck everything. They're doing it because, well, I've got to get to the hospital that I work at, or I've got to get to this side to do this. They might be doing something correct, but unfortunately, they have to use the tube. Yeah, you can't control it. So you have to take it as that's collateral damage.
If they have to go to work for whatever reason and the company hasn't put anything in place for them to work from home or can't or whatever, then fair enough. I think as far as reducing people on transport in London goes, it comes down to the companies, not the people. Like they're saying like, oh, I have to go to work, and it's fair enough to be like, well, you shouldn't, but it's like, well, it's not your paycheck, it's theirs.
Yeah, and they might be key workers where they might need to work in order to keep the country running. It's not like, it's going to be fine without them. You're like, no.
Well, the interesting thing I heard about the key workers was that Parliament were considering contracting all black cabbies in London to transport them around, partially because they've not got a lot of business at the minute because no one's fucking using them, and also because a black cab is usually perfectly like they've got like a separator between the driver and the people in the back, so they can just transport infected people around and just disinfect it every night.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were talking about Cobra meetings last week, which is just before the lockdown was organised. I assumed the army would be deployed to help deliver groceries, to help keep everything, everybody up to date with everything. It feels like, cabbies could. I mean, all taxi drivers already perform food deliveries. Why can't they deliver food for grocery stores that are looking for, more people? Well, it's not refrigerated, but it's not that. Yeah, but you just have to kind of accept it's not going to be the optimal. You're going to have to be like, I've accept some changes. Yeah. I'll deliver all the bread. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Just some headlines.
Oh yeah.
A man that was quarantined in India has run out and bitten a woman to death.
That's a cause for concern. If you are concerned, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you might get arrested.
At Eastbourne.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he had like mental issues and he contracted the virus and was quarantined, and this like completely fucking triggered him. And he ran out the house naked and bit this 80-year-old woman to death. Like, not a great way to go.
Yeah, spread that around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spread that disease around. Everyone. We need more people being bitten to death.
Yeah.
If he's going to be like the very embodiment of the zombie apocalypse, why not?
Yeah. There was another bloke in India who's been dubbed a super spreader. And apparently this one bloke is responsible for spreading the virus to 40,000 people.
Oh. Again, you go like, yeah, it might not be, the fatality rate might not be that high, but just don't be proud of that. It doesn't feel like that's a good thing that you've like, I worked my whole life so I could infect 40,000 people.
I've been training for this. I could beat Usain Bolt.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if there is going to be a long-term effect that somehow gets discovered, right? You're like, all these people, like, how are they going to live with themselves?
Yeah. But also, like, if there's, like, and this is like doomsday kind of shit, but viruses change and mutate and take different forms over time. Like, it could become something very serious. Like, I'm not like a conspirator, and I'm but there's an off chance.
It's a weird dice to roll. That's the thing. It's just like, it's one of those things that everybody reacted. Everything's fine, even in the face of everything that's going on, because it fit too much like a film, I think. And it was just like, no, it's just silly. Nothing happens that way. And it's like, slowly, it's like, no, sometimes things happen. You just have to accept it and not be a dick. Stop being a dick, please.
Fucking even Bojo's in isolation now. With like he got it a few days ago, didn't he? It was the day before yesterday.
He's been dancing with the edge for a number of years now. I'm sad I made that.
Yeah, a U2 joke. And he's like, and I'd like to be honest. I said to Vix, I think that's probably one of the better things that could have happened, just because he's now in a situation where he can lead by example.
He can make a fundraising concert for himself.
No, not Bono.
Oh, yeah.
Boris Johnson.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Who's? Yeah, not Bono, Bojo. Right, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about Bono. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Lead the country by himself. It seems weird to work from home as a prime minister, though.
Well, it makes it like, what do you do as prime minister apart from sign papers and talk to people?
Meet the sick. Like, kind of how he got it, I guess.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you really need to be meeting any more people at the minute, but he's in a situation where he's like, well, I've been telling everybody to stay home, so now I'm going to stay at home. It makes sense. And everyone was getting all pissed off because they showed video footage of the Houses of Parliament and no one was sitting 2 meters apart. And it's like, they're trying to run the fucking country. Like, it's not, they're not at the shops. They're not buying bread. They're trying to discuss matters and run the fucking country. Like, this isn't, and they're not arguing. Like, this isn't a time to be fucking partisan or anything like that. Everyone's like getting on. They're not being petty or anything. They're trying to come up with solutions. It makes sense. Like, they don't need to be sitting 2 meters apart from each other to run the country. Like, if they get it, they get it. They're in fucking London. In all likelihood, they've probably got it already.
Well, it was that whole thing about people being upset about the 2-week window where we could have done something. And you'd be like, it could feasibly take 2 weeks to shut down a country. Like, maybe it just might take that long to organize everything. Because you can't just shut everything down. You need to make sure that there's lots of things in place. So, we should have done this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but the world's not fucking Harry Potter. You can't just suddenly summon a spell that everything's fine now.
Well, think about the logistics involved in all of this for each individual business to shut down. Or to get everybody to work from home. And that's one business. Like, now look at a business as though it contains 60 million people. Yeah, I imagine that's a tad complex.
Yeah. I mean, just to figure out how to maintain food being imported into the country might take more than an hour to figure out. If you're thinking to close the country, like just 2 weeks.
Sorry, England's closed.
Yeah,
come back tomorrow.
I'd understand if it was months, maybe, but give someone a fortnight to fucking make a plan before you push the big red button. Yeah, I guess
it's stupid.
Yeah.
I've done a giant lasagna one. Yeah. Little Darling Strip Club in Las Vegas was before the shutdown open to offer drive-through strip shows and nude hand sanitizer wrestling.
Instead of gravy or mud, it'd be like, no, let's
mud
use
or baby oil or whatever.
Alcohol.
Hand sanitizer. Ooh.
Shove it in their eyes. Oh no.
Yeah. $100 a show.
Yeah.
But they've shut it down now, which makes sense. Vegas must be decimated. Like Vegas will be a fucking ghost town.
Yeah.
Everything is like public attraction.
I saw that. I think one of the West End is one of the theaters or something in Broadway is going to start streaming plays. So I assume there's still people performing, but then they shouldn't be performing. But so I don't understand.
That's the thing.
New inventive ways to get your business out there. There's as well as a business of service as well.
Well, you could do like Wicked, but have everyone in Zorbs. So they're all like a few meters apart from each other.
Mighty Ducks, but in Zorbs. It's kind of a new sport. What was the other one? The other cult favourite of the bobsleigh team? Can't remember.
Yeah,
the bobsleigh team. They have 4 guys in a bobsleigh, but they're all 2 minutes apart.
Cool Runnings.
2 of them die.
Runnings.
Cool Runnings. There you go.
Yeah,
2 of them might fit on there. The other 2 in front of it and one behind it wouldn't do very well.
Just a massive bobsled, but it couldn't go around corners.
No, it would just be a tragic film.
Yeah, they died in practice.
Yeah. In theory, they died.
Yeah. I can't get around this without saying the word.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Am I allowed? Will you beep it out or something? Or do you not care?
Oh, okay. You want me to say it? It's fine.
It's not going to get taken down, for fuck's sake. A woman has filmed herself licking a toilet seat on a flight to Miami for the coronavirus challenge.
You know, those fun challenges?
Yeah.
Where loads of people get sick and die. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the Skull Breaker challenge, the fucking Tide Pod challenge, and now they've turned coronavirus into a challenge.
Yeah, well, I think that was a challenge even before. I can't remember what it was called.
The flu challenge. Get a flu.
Yeah, it's just like people saying, oh, you know, I'm doing this because everyone's overreacting. And I understand that in this record, I've probably sounded more overreactive than I am, but it's just like, I don't understand. It's not like you're being done under strenuous circumstances. You're told to go have a lie-in for 3 months or whatever. This is great news for people.
Yeah.
Just chill out for 3 months. The government's going to give you a universal basic income unless you're one of the unlucky 0-hour contract people or someone else that is unfortunately suffering from it. It's been like, just take advantage. Look into yourself. Go sort things out. Don't try and kill yourself. This is the worst time to kill yourself.
With times like this, you get people throwing like really extraneous circumstances at you and using it as a common thing. Like say someone's got a relative that's at death's door and now they're like, well, now I can't go and see them and I might never see them again. It's like, okay, I'm sure they'll find a way around that. B, that's one person. Like, not everybody is that person, but it's like you just paint everyone to be in that same awful situation.
It's that thing where you can't control everything. It sucks right now. It is a bad thing that's happening. You need to make the best of it. You just need to wait it out. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. Sometimes life will fuck with you. If you haven't realized that by now, then you will realize it eventually. So it's just, the world's not your utopia. You're going to get fucked. Just hopefully try and take as many precautions for the world not to fuck you as much as maybe it could. Some people, I've licked toilet seats. I've got a great time.
Coronavirus challenge. Challenge accepted.
Sounds great.
Yeah, but she's fine. She didn't get it.
There was another person who did do it, and they got corona, and they got it. So. Seems odd.
Oh, why? All right.
People and their weird minds.
Yeah.
If you're into that, fair enough. But
last one from me. And I guess this is prick of the week.
Okay.
The Tisch Arts College in the States. The students asked for their tuition money back because they've all been told to go and do remote learning, so they don't have access to the resources and everything anymore. And the dean of the university sent them all, just in response, a video of herself dancing around the room to REM's "Losing My Religion."
Learn.
Yeah. Instead of sending a refund for all the stuff they haven't got access to, like, it's me dancing around the room to REM.
I feel like this has its own
It's
intrinsic
artistic.
value.
We're an arts college. If you're offended by this, you're interpreting it incorrectly.
I'm going to dance about how much money I'm not going to give you. Hooray! Everybody loves REM, right?
Sure.
This is weird. Dean.
Yeah.
Seems weird to have a job named after one guy. That's the basis of your whole system. No, Dean. My name's Greg. No, Dean. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. My name's Pamela. No, you're Dean now.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means you're in charge. What? Do you like REM? Yes, then get in there.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Press play. Yeah. Yeah. That's me.
Fun times.
Yeah.
More stuff to be happening, but just more varied. I get very bored by all these same articles again and again. Not the ones that we've said, but when you're looking through it, you're just like, oh, this and that. Stay indoors. Yeah. Stay indoors. Have you stayed indoors? Stay indoors some more.
Stay indoors more.
Get it?
Yeah. Now this person's got it. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been thinking, I've got a few more creative feelings. Feeling, I can actually do more things indoors. But that's been a 3-year thing, so we'll see if that ever manifests itself. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ideas for things.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fun time.
And again, we didn't tell people to go to YouTube.
God,
and I told myself I would this week.
Yeah, I need to make a note for that, to be fair. I need to try. That's what I might try and do, is try and tighten up some show stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Be productive in the darkness. But yeah, we're on YouTube if you want to watch us.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're everywhere you get podcasts, I think. But yeah, on social media, I'm at Nick Snip.
I am at Sing It Steve.
We're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah. And you can find us at facebook.com/pullingteethpodcast. You can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. Yeah. And you can find everything, all the places everywhere at pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yeah. You can find us there and interact. I did try and reach out to some people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're unlikable. That might be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I started it with fuck you. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Hey, my Sing It Steve handle actually has relevance now. There is actually music stuff going on.
Oh, nice. Oh, you've done more. I saw you did one. I haven't seen this.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, I did another one last week.
So, you can do another one this week.
Try and keep it up while I'm indoors. Why not?
One a week. Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, cool. I think my camera lasted this time as well, so that's pretty good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. All right.
Big climactic ending.
Blurry faces.